I'm going to be telling the story of the time that I broke into my own friend's house. I know it's a bold title, but there is amazing reason for it. So let's get right into it. So I'd say this is about 2021. I know it's post quarantine because we were staying at people's houses, like it was a sleepover. Well, anyways, let's get to the three main characters. Let me introduce you guys. So we have me, usually the main character of every story I tell. Brandon, which has been in a few. He's been in the got kicked out of a friend's house video, and I think both the sneaking out videos. And then we have this friend Matthew. Now this isn't Vergify's Matthew. This is a Matthew that moved away, and he was really just a DLC character. Nothing wrong with him, but I never really got close to him. He was just kind of a friend of a friend. Well, anyways, I guess I'll go a little bit into the origin of how I met him. So me and my friend Brandon, we're childhood best friends. We do like everything together, or at least did. Now we usually just play the game. But we went to the beach, I'd say, at some point during the summer of 2021. And anyways, we're at this beach and we're swimming and we're talking about fucking Green Gang and Purple Gang. I mean fucking prime GTA. Well, this fucking guy comes up to us and it's the friend that I'm talking about right now. He says he's a part of Red Gang. He obviously had no fucking idea what he was talking about. So we yap to him and stuff, and we end up becoming friends with him. And he tells us where he lives. That's not suspicious, because considering we're all like not even fucking 12. But yeah, so we figure out where he lives, and he invites us over to have a sleepover. So we go over to his house to have a sleepover. This is where we learn three things about his mom that will become important for the second sleepover. We learn that she is hard of hearing, older, and is short temper, very, very short fused. So we head over to his house. Nothing we expected. We go straight to this dungeon-like basement, and he has his PS4 set up. I mean, this isn't like a finished basement. This is like a fucking concrete Osama bin Laden compound, having-ass basement. So we're chilling down there, and it's like typical bullshit. Now, I was the more naive, innocent one out of the group. We were all not really there, but my friend Brandon and the Matthew kid, they knew about porn, so they kind of terrorized me with the idea because that's before I was beating my shit every single fucking day. And they were yapping to me about it because the thing with Brandon is that he like on the inside, like deep down, when it gets to a serious situation, he's on my side usually. But if a new friend's introduced in like the group of three, I'm usually just kind of the one that gets bashed or thrown to the side, like the side character. Like if, for example, Vergifies Matthew, if we're hanging out, me, Vergifies Matthew, and Brandon, there'll be some favoritism, but it's whatever. I don't really mind because I know deep down there's no favoriting. It's just the heat of the situation. Well, anyways, they're fucking with me about whatever, and then turns out, I think that what led to this is that I got upset at Brandon for Brandon treating this Matthew kid more as a friend than he was treating me at that point. Because this is before, because I used to cry when I got upset rather than get angry, which that switched up real fucking fast because this was pretty much the main lesson point. Well, anyways, so I'm like fucking spieling bullshit to Brandon, like, oh, how could you do this? Your childhood best friend, whatever, whatever. I'm like fucking 11 years old. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, anyways, the Matthew kid tells me to leave without his mom's permission. I'm like, okay, I'll leave because I low-key wasn't having it either. Well, I'm like halfway done walking home, and I hear his mom yell from a distance, "Hey, what are you doing? Get back over here!" Now, originally I thought it was fucking because I left something or because she was mad. No, she made fucking Matthew apologize to me, and it felt kind of genuine, and we were all hanging out after that, so we're back in the basement. Well, Matthew's bright idea because he's slightly older than both of us. We're deciding, okay, let's go sneak out. Now, mind you, if I were to able to draw out a map of this block that we're on, the block consists of houses on the far right side, and then on the left side is like a strip of the main town where we have like Dairy Queen, there's a Crackle Barrel slash gas station, stuff like that. Well, we decide we're gonna go to the fucking Dairy Queen because this is during the time where Dairy Queen is just closing up because it's a seasonal place, at least here. So they're closing up, and I think this was like I think a couple days after they closed for the season. So they have like a bunch of their fucking crates in the back and shit. So we're fucking with the crates and stuff. And mind you, there's three bikes. One's a little fucking kid's bike. One's Matthew's main bike, and then one's just another bike about the same size. Well, turns out that I had to ride bitch. I was on the little kid's bike. So, we're all fucking going to the Dairy Queen. Well, turns out that, while we're at the Dairy Queen, we see a cop car coming down the main strip. And mind you, this is before we really had a concept of how to fucking escape the cops and shit. So we decided we're just gonna flee. We're going back to the house. So his mom was still awake, because if she was asleep, then we probably could have walked in the front door because, like I said, she's hard of hearing. But since that wasn't the case, we had to climb over this fence, go through the side door, and down the basement. Now, luckily, we didn't get caught. So this was kind of the character developing portion where we're figuring out like, okay, this is the do's and don'ts and just stuff like that. Because me and Brandon both had an idea of what we wanted to do. So now we go into the second sleepover. Second sleepover was pretty much the same deal. Same shit happened, excluding the character development where I was fucking crying and shit. And then we decided, okay, we're gonna sneak out and go to the fairgrounds. Well, we go there and we're fucking with the like. Okay, so instead of a typical fairgrounds, this is where there's a horse racing track. There's a bunch of fucking monster truck types. It's a pretty big place. So there's these big overhead lights like you'd see in a football stadium. Well, we decided to flip them on, unknowing that we were actually flipping them on. We see them fucking turn on, and we're like, fuck. Because there's like a house inside of the huge fairgrounds area, and I'm pretty sure they're the family that runs the place. So we're like, holy shit, we're cooked. So we decided to run away from there. But on our way back, I find this fucking shopping cart in an alleyway and take it back to my house. And I show back up at my house, sleep, third sleepover, third and final sleepover. This is where shit goes down. So we're going back to his house. Mind you, this is the same group of people. Me, Brandon, and Matthew Kid. Regular sleepover. But this time, we decide that we're going to sneak out again. Well, not a great idea. We sneak out, and while trying to make our way back into the place, we hear Matthew, because mind you, he's already hopped the fence and he's walking towards the door. Me and Brandon are both just getting done hopping the fence. Well, Matthew looks at us, signals us to go back, and we're like, this is a one-way fence. There's nothing to climb up on the other side. So we sit there, and we're wondering what the fuck. Well, we hear his mom yelling at him, and we're like, me and Brandon kind of look at each other, and we're like, fuck. So we're sitting there, and we're waiting. Well, my fucking dumb ass walks up and tries to peek into the house. Well, sees me, and then fucking Brandon walks over there because I guess we were gonna both just take it. Well, we get fucking scolded and kicked out. Now, this is where it should have ended, but it didn't. So, we're walking back home, and like I check my phone all the time, so I go to check my phone. Not there. And I look at Brandon, I'm like, my phone's on the charger in the living room where she's sleeping. That's where we realized we were cooked. Now, there's a password on it, so I wasn't extremely worried. So I'm walking up, like down this road, me and Brandon debating what we're gonna do. Well, when we're walking up this road, we're passing Vergify's house, the other Matthew. So we're talking to Vergify's, and we're like, hey, you want to help us come break into this guy's house so I can get my phone? He had fucking bronchitis, but he still went with it. It was fucking funny. So we're sitting there outside of the house debating on the approach. I decided, instead of the sneaky backdoor approach or the just have Matthew come and bring me the phone approach, I was going to open that fucking front door, army crawl, unplug the phone, and leave. Well, first part goes successful. Open the door. I look through this window because there's like a sunroom and then the going into the place. Well, from the sunroom, I can see inside, so I see that his mom is dead slump in the living room. So I get on all fours and then advance to being on my stomach. And I'm crawling towards the middle of this living room. And I grab my phone, but something I didn't tell you guys is that they have rats, and they started fucking squealing. I didn't know rats could be an alert animal. Well, I'm grabbing this phone. Mom wakes up, stares at me. Now, I'm assuming she had no idea what the fuck was going on, because she didn't yell, didn't say hey, she just 1,000-yard stared. I ran, and I've literally never seen that family again in my life. I know they moved away because of an ant infestation, but yeah, I've just never talked to that mom ever again in my whole life, and that's the story. Broke into my friend's house to go retrieve my phone. See y'all.